All right, guys, we are here back for another unbelievable time. Health Coach Success. And I was saying, even before we started recording, where were these when I started? Because I was freaking out, may not have looked that way. I didn't know what to do. I was scared, nervous, no one would hire me. But just like many of you, came out of school and thought it would be easy to get people at 150 an hour. That didn't happen right away. And so the reason I picked JJ even tonight to speak is she is one of those coaches that, just like all of us, you know, we feel the fear, but some of us either stop and we're like, halt, and we don't continue to test our niche. So let me just, even before JJ and I start going back and forth, we don't test our niche. We maybe do the avatar. We hear this in school, build your list, but we come out and we're like, I don't even know where to start. I know my story. And then we start doing and hopping all these places. And what gets convoluted at the core time that you're so excited is your story and is your message. So one of the things that I think JJ has, not I think, let me rescind that. I know, and I've watched JJ do so gracefully through all the years of rebranding, birthing a baby, having to figure out her business, was going for it and also matching her niche story to what was happening in her life. And so often we think, well, I don't want to be everywhere. I don't want to focus on too much. You're focusing on your life. If you stay really in that core, simple part, you will always meet your client avatar because you will be speaking your message on a daily basis, and that person will 100% find you. So my name is Feldman. Super pumped to have my girlfriend here. And I can say that she is an online sister who I've met, and I was so lucky to meet her face to face. But I'm telling you, you can meet amazing people, clients, collaborations, coaches. And so without further ado, this is, although I call her JJ, but Jay, which she goes. So Jay, tell everyone, first off, say hello, but tell everyone a little about yourself.
Okay, so I love this question because every single time I always stumble. It's like, tell someone about yourself. You're like, and that's kind of finding your niche too. You're like, what do you even want to focus on? Then you're like, what's wrong with me? Or like, how did I even get into health coaching? And it's usually, isn't it always because you struggled with health in some way? Like, don't you think? So I guess my journey with health coaching started because I went to Thailand and I traveled and had the best journey of my life. I taught English for 8 months over there. But with that, I picked up a few parasites. I came home and I had put on like 20 extra pounds, and I feel like I came back and people were like, aren't you supposed to lose weight in Thailand? Or like, aren't you supposed to lose weight when you have a parasite? And I'm like, what the hell? Why did I get the one where you're like, come back like a blowfish? So I came back just so sick, and I signed up for health coaching school. And then through that, I met you because you were referred to me from the lady that was supposed to be helping me. But she was like, I don't know your case. I know this gal. She's good with parasite people. And so I was like, okay. Yeah. And so that was 2010. That was 8 years ago. But through that entire journey, I learned how to get intuitive, and I learned how to kind of silence everyone else and be like, okay, that's great that worked for that person, but I've tried that and that doesn't work for me. So like my I guess success came from finding how to lose weight without being obsessed about it. And so I ended up losing like 25 pounds with your help and really getting out of the diet roller coaster. And then that became my business because people would be like, oh my God, you look awesome. What have you been doing? and I couldn't put into words what I was doing. It was like, I had to create something to help them through releasing like some sort of emotional, like I feel like weight gain is all about like holding everything so tight and you're like clenching your fists. And then once you learn how to release things and stuff, you start to come to like a place of natural weight. And it's through just so much work, you know, like internal work, not like a meal plan, but that helps. And it's a piece of the journey. But so anyway, so that's about me. I had a C-section last year and had a baby, and that was freaking so traumatic, but that also became part of my story. And after that happened, I started helping a lot of women who were also recovering from C-sections, and were like, oh my God, the emotional and physical trauma that, like, how do you even get through that? And so, like Rach said, my business continues evolving with me, and I go with it and I don't fight against it. And I think that's helped me have success and have like the ability to adapt and change niches and like get more narrowed in on things, because I'm okay with going in a different direction.
Well, and I even want to like bring, because I think, you know, sometimes it can be hard. Like, even as I've listened to different coaches, I start having memories of like, oh, wow, what did I do 8 years ago? Oh, yeah, I did this. And I want to just, you know, fill in a few of the gaps for people that you did go in that back and forth, just like all of us do. And I think that's the myth that we believe when we see somebody have success and we're like, how did they get there? So it wasn't just, you know, you trying to figure it out. You were like, you had this epiphany, you know, for most of us that were chronic dieters, not loving the body image, whatever our stuff is, and whatever your stuff is as you're watching, like, think of it, write it down on a piece of paper. And so that was your aha moment, because you're like, I have to eat this. I can only eat this type of way. And I think for many of us, you know, whatever that awakening is, that's the truth that then we bring. So we say, you know, to find your niche, it isn't just the problem you had. For a lot of coaches, it wasn't necessarily they went through something, but you wish something was in the world that was present at that time. So you wish that there was this really powerful voice that said, you know, stop the dieting. It's not this, it's not that. What if I can show you how to like really naturally lose weight with this way? And that evolved for you because it was detox, then it was weight loss, then it was detox, and you went to detox school. Yeah. You know, and through all of that, even when you were pregnant, you were like, hey moms, I'm pregnant. Do you want to learn how to be pregnant and happy? So it was at every stage that you optimized. And I don't say that in like a nasty selling way. You took your life and you poured your life in the online space, but you also worked locally. So break down for me, what were the local connections? Like we had that food at that amazing place. How did so break down for the new coach who's like, you know, you remember, because you're like, who do I talk to? What do I pitch?
Okay. So what I first did when I graduated from IIN is, I think for like a second, I was just like, whoa, what the hell do I first do? So I just started writing, and I wrote down every single contact I had who was either in like a corporate environment. And then I wrote down like different workshop titles that I thought could work for me, that like I could speak authentically about. And it wasn't like bust your sugar cravings with this. Like that doesn't work for me. It has to be more like authentic.
Like what? Give an example.
So I'm writing this article right now. It's called How to Lose Weight Without Letting Food Consume Your Every Thought. So like right now and that could be generic, but I had to make something that was already like on a tree, make my own little branch for it. So a basic workshop I first started doing was Detox 101. So I wrote this like workshop, and I didn't even know, like, I was like, I know a little bit about detoxing. Like,
I had to go through it.
Yeah, I was like, don't eat processed food. And then I'm like, how the hell do I do a workshop about that? But so I wrote down kind of like what I would want to talk about and what points I would want to make. And so it was like 3 main points, and then what I could offer to these people and how much I wanted to charge and how much I felt comfortable charging. And I think I started doing like $100 per workshop, and I didn't care how many people showed up as long as I was guaranteed that $100. And so I took like, I wrote like a little email about what I would be offering, what the benefits these people would be receiving from the workshop. And so I took my list of all my different contacts, and I was like, hey, would your company be interested in something like this? We could call it like Wellness 101 for the corporate workspace or something like that. And Detox 101 for basic, for like beginners or whatever. So I took those little things. I started doing workshops in corporate environments. And then I did free workshops in coffee shops. I would just contact the person and I'd be like, hey, would you be interested in this? And basically I did that to build my email list. And even honestly, like, I can't tell you, I mean, still sometimes there's like 3 people that show up and I'm like, all right, 3 people. And I don't care. Like, there's no shame. If one person shows up, I'm like, cool. Well, 1 person showed up. But then I've had times when there's been like 30 people who've showed up. So I think if I was just starting out, I would write the list of everyone I knew. I would draft an email. I would create like a workshop that resonated with me. I taught yoga and bar at the time. So I started talking about being a health coach with the fitness manager and with the gym people. And I'd be like, oh my God, I just started learning about the other side of weight loss, and I'd love to give free talks. So I gave like a 3-part talk on losing weight. And what that did was not only did people show up, but that built some of my confidence. And then I could show people like on social media what I was doing. And then other people would message me and they're like, oh my God, that's so awesome. Can you do that in our workspace? And I'd be like, oh my God. And then it just kind of kept going. And then, you know, last year I somehow, I mean, this is how life goes, but it's like, I went on the news twice and I showed them how to make the chocolate mint protein balls. And this is how it happens. You have to be in the momentum. Like, whatever opportunity comes your way, especially at the beginning, you have to say yes. And I mean, but I say that, but then I also think about like how you can burn out super fast. But I feel like when your passion is there and your drive is there, then nothing really can stop you. And you don't feel tired until it's like a year or 2 later.
And right before you came on, I was talking about this. Burnout happens when there's not clarity on the message. I think even coaches will say like, I don't know what to offer. And I would say the business funnel of what you're doing. Before anybody, guys, talked about funnel hacking, email marketing, because it did not exist. Trust me. I mean, it existed with large companies, but nobody sent 5 email sequences, let alone 21. It was just, what do I want to offer them? Where can I lead them? That's really what you want to ask yourself. The lead in is a workshop, a talk, a live stream, a webinar, a social media post. It's wherever somebody is like, oh, wow, I'm getting to know this person.
Yeah.
And that builds trust. Yes. And then the person's like, oh, so maybe signing up for your program, non-committal usually, because you haven't built up enough. I like you. I see you. I trust you to say, I want to hire you for 6 months.
Yeah.
Where I love school. I've always said I love school. What did not work for me is I felt so defeated when I was like, why is no one signing up for my 6 months? And it wasn't clear on trying to help people. It had a very clear story, and a very clear up and down hero journey. But people are like, I've seen so many people. I don't know if I'm ready for that. And what I realized is they needed just a shorter entry point. And I started looking at nutritionists and registered dietitians who offered single sessions. There wasn't this long-term commitment to work with them. And I was like, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Why not try it? This is not working. I'm not even paying for Montessori school for one child with what I'm making. It's not going to cut it. And so I shifted and I pivoted right away. And I encourage you, if you get tired, if you feel burnout, pivot. But also be clear on what JJ said is really important. Like, that has to align with you. I wouldn't ever do a hormone workshop. I know how to hack my hormones. I've fortunately gone from a no testosterone level to a some, a no progesterone to a some, a no estrogen. But teaching somebody else, it's not my zone of genius at all. It never was an interest. And so I would never do that. Sugar, I had to learn how to get my numbers down. I had to learn how to gut, detox, the things that were part of my struggle, journey, desire, love, something that I could not even with a workshop come up and be like, so guys, I'm going to talk to you about the 10 probiotics I use. I'll also talk about the 4 prebiotics that I love and talk to you about the difference between probiotics, soil-based, and the ones you see in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Who's ready? That I could talk about off my brain. That's what I want you to think about. Even if you buy a workshop from us, even if you buy a program, you still have to be in it. You're going to feel nervous. Everyone does. Don't think that the nervousness is going to go away. But I think if you continue to ask, just like you've seen coaches say, and JJ is going to talk about the programs to the retreats, you've seen coaches say, and they signed up for this challenge. And then they were like, what are we doing? That's the thing. What is the next thing? And you're like, oh my God, they want something more. And you're like, okay, because you haven't over thought about it. You haven't stayed into the mode of perfection, overthinking the funnel. You're thinking about the human. You're thinking about how crappy it was when how crappy it was when your friend, how crappy it was when your client. You're thinking about what they need. And you're like, awesome, you asked. What about doing a 30-day? And they're like, oh, yeah. And then they sign up. And then some people want to do a one-on-one with you. Or maybe they want to do products with you if you do them. Or maybe they're like, oh, it's so amazing. You don't even want to stop. And then they enroll in a 3-month program with you, online or offline or on your one-on-one. So just think about that. That's how simple it is. You're always thinking about what opportunity, where do they need to go? What do they need to know to hire you, to love you? Do they need more love? Do they need more guides and free stuff and all that? Or are they good? And you just need to learn how to cultivate the clear message of what that client is potentially having the problem in their brain and then message that back to them. Okay, so you're in your business, you're in the beginning stages, and then you decide at one point to go online.
Yeah.
Which did you just, were you like, I'm going to go, I mean, because I remember you doing a lot of this offline.
Yeah. I'm trying to even think of how I think it started with just detoxes. Like, your detoxes, was it like 3 or 4 years ago?
Yes.
Something like that. And I was like, because I did them. And so I was like, okay, I've done them. And, I feel like it's so great. Like, what worked for my peeps is a start and an end date. And I knew that from the beginning because, like, I'm such a start and end date. If it's like a DIY, I don't do it. If there's a start and end date, I do it. And I feel like you attract those people that, you know, most are like emulate whatever you are. So I started doing those, and I would get like a few people in the detox, and I was like, awesome. I think my first like $77 detox that someone bought, I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. And it's still so cool. It's just like, yes, so cool. And so then that started, and I feel like I had a few people, and I led them through an online, I'm trying to even think back. I think it was just like Because
I think you
Facebook
had
Live.
16, if I remember, you had 16 people. And then you
Okay,
led them into the 6 week, which was your sisterhood. You created your sisterhood group.
You're right. You're right. I can't even remember because I'm like, how did I talk to them in a video? Because Facebook Live wasn't around.
I don't think we did. We didn't do videos.
Okay, so we didn't do videos.
We literally posted.
Oh, maybe it was GoToWebinar. I probably did webinars, maybe. But yeah, maybe it was just daily posts in the Facebook group. But when you're talking about like just starting and people being worried about funnels, I'll be 100% honest. I'm the worst at funnels. Even that word, I'm like, what the, like, just no. And I shove it to the side. But when you break it down as to what a funnel actually is, it's like a freebie. And then they're on your list. And then you invite them to a free online workshop. And then you have a program that you offer on a webinar, and then they sign up for a program, and then they want to work with you privately. And so it's like, so to me, isn't that just a funnel? Yeah.
So this is, and I think that's really important for you guys to hear, that not, some of you are very statistical, you're very right-brained. Some of you are more empaths. You have to figure out what works for you. Don't compare yourself to anybody. Yeah. And don't also overwhelm yourself trying to figure out things that maybe don't serve you. That's where the exhaustion comes in. I know coaches who make tons of money, they don't even have a website up. I mean, if you listen to Christina last night, she was like, oh, my website wasn't up. I did ClickFunnels. Yeah. My first 4 programs, I used Eventbrite. I couldn't figure it out. So I want to ask you a very specific question. How did you decide to take the people from the detox and then create, which you never created just one program. You always created, using, I believe you used the Junky programs, right? You always moved into another 6 week experience because I'd always pop up on Facebook. I'd be like, damn, she just busted out another pick monkey cover, in a hot second. And so what was the process that once you marketed? Did you market on Facebook with a post? And then even take it to now. You marketed on Facebook. And then do you plan what you're going to take them to?
No.
As the next program?
I should be doing that because I think I would have more people in the programs. But I'm such, like you said, an empath. So I think I had 30 people. I did the paleo and I wasn't even going to do it. And I was like, I'll just market the paleo one as kind of like a end your sugar cravings program because, with all that protein in there. So I did that and I had 30 people sign up and I was like, okay, I guess I'm doing a program. And then I took people from the paleo I might have extended it to a 3 or 4 week program. So that's also the beauty with the programs is you literally can do whatever you want. You can do exactly as they are, and you can just put your own website on the bottom, or you can extend them into a 2, 3, 4 week. You add a few things, you add guides, blah, blah. You literally do whatever you want. And so I think I extended it from I started with a detox, and then I saw these people and they wanted more. So I was like, okay, I'll do the paleo, but marketed as a sugar craving ender. And so I did the paleo program for a 6 week thing, I think. And then those people were like, oh my God, I had such great success. So then I was like, okay, great. If you've had success and you want more, this is kind of the end of the road for the group programs, but I am taking 3 private clients for the next 3 days because I burn out fast. So I do 3 clients a day max. I can't do any more than that. And I've learned that over the last 6 years. I just can't do more. And I know that there's marathoners who take on 10 clients a day. I can't do it. No, thank you. So I took, so then 3 people signed up for private coaching, which was awesome. And then I created a 90-day program and it's only 6 sessions, which works great for both of us because both of us get success from the program. And that's about all I can handle. And I feel like at the end of 6 sessions, they achieved what they wanted to. And so if not, I'll be like, okay, let's add on another month of email support. So I'm constantly
upset without even, so that's what I love about, and that was one of the things, each person that I've interviewed has been very different. And I think the beauty of when somebody hears is that it is that intuition part. Like, you don't have to have a whiteboard there planning everything out. Some people feel really caged in by doing that. Yeah. But if you show up and, you know, if you guys go and look at Jay's IG, her IG account, you'll see it's her life. There's not a planned IG. It's the life. It's what she's eating. Mm-hmm. So when people say, oh, the marketing and this, it's your life. Somebody's buying your life. Mm-hmm. That's the health and wellness business. They are opting into, you know, free stuff, or they're watching you on Facebook. I can't tell you how many people would say, I've watched you for the last year. I followed you for the last 2 years. And you think, yeah, ooh, 2 years. That's a lot of time that every day I showed up. And okay, that's what it took. Mm-hmm. But that's why it's so important for you to share. You don't have to share everything, but you have to share the parts of you other than just sharing, I love you, David Wolf, but other than just sharing David Wolf and a Mind Body Green article, you have to share, like, what did you go through? What are some of the trials and tribulations that you experienced or that you currently experience and you wish were different? You know, so find why you went to school. Maybe it was a while ago. Maybe you've lost your passion. Maybe you feel just jaded in general. Like, rebirth that. Yeah. And if you're not having success online, because that doesn't happen for all of us right away, you know, go local. So before we even jump into to a little more of the program, I do want you to talk just in explaining, how do you communicate? Like, do you actually communicate in your group and say, hey guys, here's this opportunity? Do you email people and kind of tell them, do you create a sales page? Or is it just like, here's the PayPal button. If you want to do it, we're down.
That is it. I'm like, so I try.
You're not worried about the connection. You're just like, you're going to buy. I'm going to make you happy. It's all going to be good.
I'm just like, the less thinking, and that's how I operate. The less thinking, the more doing. Because how many people do you see? I mean, if there's something that is in my stomach and it's like, remember we talked about going to detox school. I was like 5 months fresh from a C-section and I was like dying. I'm like, I know so much. Why is this not working? I see someone, I don't even know how I saw it. Someone's going to detox school with Dr. Morris in Florida. I live in Seattle. And so I'm like, oh, and then something inside of me made me buy plane tickets, made me get the ticket. And then I just went and there was no thinking about it. It was like, I was into it.
With your baby.
With my baby.
Yeah.
In 80-degree weather. Like, what? And I was like, I was just there and I knew I was supposed to be there, but I think the more you do, then the more you do, then the more you do, then, you know, and it goes on and on and on. So, I feel like you had an original question. Oh, you said, do you just present it? And that's exactly what I do. I'm just like, okay, guys. And I have like a Facebook group and it's not like the biggest group, but there is some interaction in there. And then I have like, Facebook Live has been huge, but like same with you. I had people who are like, I've been following you for a few years on Instagram and I'm applying for this discovery session to work with you. I love what you do. And I just read from like this woman who has 500,000 Instagram followers. She said, I did this study over the last 30 days of, and I tripled my, followers. And it was because every single day I posted a picture of me and my life. It wasn't of food. It wasn't of
stock photo.
It wasn't a stock photo. Yeah. It was her. And sometimes it was her. Sometimes it was her and her husband. Sometimes it was her and her dog. Sometimes it was her in her swimsuit. And that tripled her followers. And I was like, that's so true. Because the people I follow, they're not the most beautiful pictures. They're real life people. And they're like making jokes and they're talking about like just real stuff all the time. Those are the people I'm attracted to. And I think those are the people that are attracted to me. It's just like, there's no stock photos. It's all legit.
So would you say that pretty much the message, because I think a coach might be like, oh, wow, okay. So what is the clear message, like at every place that you literally feel like you want to step into the overwhelm of, is this right? Is this wrong? Should I do it this way? I'm stuck on tech. What you're pretty much saying is, it's really no excuse to be stuck, because we tell our clients, let go. Don't be stuck. Don't be dogmatic. Like, well, we don't say, maybe I say dogmatic, but say, you know, it's going to be okay. You've got to trust the process. And but we don't really honor our own advice in our business, you know? And so I think, you know, if you are that person that needs to put on a whiteboard, put it on a whiteboard, get clear and take action. Because every person I talk to, these are names that you may not know: Holly Thompson, Nisha Moodley, Cora Powaj. I mean, I've had a conversation with so many people, and it seems that before the age of massive internet, like we're in, and things are really changing, Facebook algorithms, or IG, and all these, we just got out there. And what did that mean? Stumbling and falling on potential PowerPoints. What were they going to be? Webinars did not have face-to-face like this. Facebook Live did not exist. And then things got really busy when that age of internet, which is a beautiful thing. But guess what? You can build your practice if you think about, and this is, I always say, think about at least 5, but really each one of you, I guarantee you can write down 20 people locally that you know. Your own acupuncturist, your own massage therapist, your own doctor, your own whatever, and start walking into places. Bob's actually saying, how do you get your foot in the door with corporate? I'll even tell you just for me, and then JJ can tell you. I put together those signature PowerPoints first. Things don't happen just like the movie Field of Dreams. You have to build it, and then they will come. It's a very... You can't be in abundance mindset, like as much as I drive a huge truck, I'm very woo-woo in this stuff. Can't be an abundance mindset and feel really super confident and come off of that if you're like, I don't even know what I'm going to offer. I don't know what you're walking in, you're like, hey, you know what? I know your people are really interested in one thing, energy. And so what I'm going to do is come in and give either, I'm going to give you an option, a 1-part series or a 1-part presentation or a 3-part series. And during this, I'm going to deliver 3 very distinct ways, if you want the 3-part, on how your corporate awesome people can have more energy and make more money. So we're going to focus on the key foods first. I'm going to give them a handout with each so they can go on a takeaway or home. Then the next one, it's going to be like the exact practices that you need to do for daily habits for successful people. Hint, hint. And then we're going to talk about like the third, how to not dip and fall so that you're in the kitchen, eating the donuts, drinking coffee, and then crashing and burning and not being able to do your dog and pony show. Are you interested in me coming in and having this very strategic talk with your people so that they can make more money for you? And then you say that over and over, and then you tweak that low. You walk into a juice place. Hey, how are you? So my name is Rachel. This is what I do. I mean, I want to come in. Do you want to do one on smoothies, detox, juicing, how to get off sugar? I can totally come in and talk about them all. And I can also promote you. Yeah. Because I love win-win relationships, and relationship building is huge for me. So you're just taking always your same signature PowerPoint. This is where I talk about, you know, yes, maybe sometimes you need to tweak one to be a little more energy specific, a little more gut, a little more foods for the mom, a little more that. but you're reusing, and then you think, where are they going to? Are they going to a program? I would, every gym, hey, I have a paleo program. Or if I went into a corporate, hey, I can teach your people how to have more energy. You want to think of what is their biggest need? That's all niches. What is their biggest problem? How can you solve it? What is their biggest problem? What do they need? And if you talk to somebody on the phone, and the reason I created do-it-yourself programs on my site or group programs was because it was less expensive for some people, but also not everyone's a good fit for one-on-one. Mm-hmm. I call these marathon runners. They want to run with the pack. And JJ attracts a lot of marathon runners because she loves doing groups. She loves the transference. She loves the sisterhood energy. We're going to talk about a retreat in just a second. But you have to think about who you want to attract. The only reason I started doing groups or do it yourself was I had people say, I can't afford you. And I wasn't even charging a lot. Mm-hmm. But I realized they needed to kind of get used to me. Was one section of the psychology of the buyer. The other was the person who never wanted to do one-on-one. And it doesn't mean it's a judgment thing that they don't want to talk about the screwed up stuff that happened when they were 5 years old with their mother. They may never go there. They're not constitutionally that type of person. You could be like, hey, did something happen with your mom? Or, hey, you're talking about this a lot. Are there trust issues? They'd be like, well, I mean, yeah, stuff was bad, but can we talk about the weight loss? You're like, okay, well, we'll talk about, no problem. So don't worry if you're like, this isn't working, shift it, shift your message, and I talk about this a lot with mindset coaches. Is somebody Googling like, I got to find a coach like Gabby Bernstein? No, probably. They're like, oh, I've gained weight, I feel old, I'm not sleeping, I have no sex drive, I'm stressed out, I'm overeating, I'm binge eating. It's what is the problem. We know it's the mindset, so do what Tony Robbins does. We're going to work on mindset so you make more money. We're going to work on this so you have this. It's a very old, I help, so you get this. So you get this result. Yeah. Start with the problem and be clear. Don't make a claim like, I will help you lose 70 pounds in a month. Yeah. Be realistic. Hey, I went through this, or I helped my mom to do this, or I helped my sister, even if you don't have clients, think about the friends that you can reach out to and say, hey, can I give you a program? Can I get a testimonial? Can I test working with you and all that good stuff? All right. Enough of me. Let's get to programs, online, offline, yoga workshops. You did that one in Seattle. Oh, yeah. Offline, all the different things. And then what was that moment that you said, I have to do a retreat?
So I was like I created these classes and they were called Fit Girl classes. And at the beginning there was I led a free walk around Seattle in a neighborhood there. And I think the first one, I put it on a Meetup. Isn't it Meetup? I don't even remember if that.
Meetup.com.
Yeah. So I put it there and I was like, free walk. Like I didn't even know what I was going to be doing because that's how I go. So we do this walk and then every 15 minutes, I pause them. We do some step ups on the bench. We do some push-ups. We do some breathing. Then we go to the next spot. And so it was cool because it was 3 different spots. And so you're getting a good walk with all these women. And then you're getting your heart rate up. And then you're walking with women. And then you're getting your heart rate up. So at the end, you're left feeling energized. And you're just like, oh my God, that was great. And you bonded and you learned something about yourself and someone else. And so I started leading these classes. And then I swear someone was like, hey, have you ever thought of leading a retreat? And I was like, what? And then I was like, it planted a seed. And I was like, oh, that would actually be awesome. And so I then the first retreat I led, I contacted a place where I knew they had retreats that it was basically scheduled, and it was a place that you show up, and I taught 2 fitness classes per day. All the food was taken care of. It was all really clean, delicious, farm to table. There was a hot tub, natural springs, a pool. And I was like, oh my God. But so what I did every single thing. So it wasn't the greatest because I'm not the best with calculating things out. So like with a welcome bag, and then I took them on a wine tasting and we rented a this and that. And so I ended up breaking even. So I didn't make any.
I have to tell you, I know a lot of people who do retreats and a lot of people who do events, and nobody talks about it, guys, but a lot of people either break even or way under.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you were, I don't look at that and I always say we have to learn from like what didn't work to actually know what is going to work.
Yes. And so breaking even, I was like, yes, that's great, because I had a lot of yoga friends who were like, oh yeah, how much did I charge for the first one? Mm-hmm. It was like $480. Mm-hmm. And think of an entire weekend of lodging, food, wine tasting, a welcome bag, additional food not included at the retreat because the retreat was so expensive. And so, I mean, it would have been so expensive had I included everything. So it was $480. And I was like, that's a great price. And it was a great price for them. But then the next one, I was like, screw that. I am gonna, what was the next one we did? I rented out a VRBO. So, a vacation home, and I hired 3 kitchen helpers. And when I say hired, I mean I gave each one of these people, I think the retreat for them was like $50 or $100. And then I priced it at $5.
You pretty much bartered. Like you bartered with them.
Oh, I bartered. I totally bartered, which the retreat value was at like $600. So they wanted to come, but they were like, I can't afford it, but can I do that? And so that worked out perfectly. And so I changed it to $600. And then I also gave my sister a cut because she helped deal with the VRBO owner and plan a few things. And then I did a retreat welcome bag, but I had reached out to companies that I had loved. And this is from my brand background. Like I was a brand ambassador, brand manager for like different events and stuff. And so I reached out to events or brands, and I was like, I'm leading this retreat for women, and there's 15 of us going, and I love your brand, and I would love to include your brand on this retreat. Is there any possible way you donate 15 of these? We'll do a social media post. I'll write in my email about you to my so-and-so subscribers. And at that point I had like 500 subscribers, and they were like, great. And so I got these from different brands. And so that was the welcome bag. So I didn't even pay for it this time around, which was like it was like $100 value per person. So then I did that. And then I think it was a coconut water brand donated coconut water. So that was like a good snack. Whatever snack. And then we had like veggies and hummus, and we cooked all of our own food. I grocery shopped, I planned, I did all that stuff. So it was so much work, but I made $3,000. And I was like, yes, okay, this could be lucrative if I could offer this a few times a year. And I gave my sister a cut. I think I gave her like $500 or something, which she was like, woohoo! Like I barely did anything, and I got $500 and a free retreat. Well, actually, she did a lot. And then from there, I was like, okay, my goal is to make $5,000 per retreat. Like I just kept going up. And so I charged on the last retreat, I think it was $727, which as you get higher, you're just like, oh my God, is anyone going to sign up? It sold out like 3 months prior to it even starting, which I was like, how the hell? Like sometimes you do say, how did that happen? But then you're like, it's because I've built up. Like the first time that didn't happen. I built
up and you showed up, because I think the beauty of what everyone has really heard here and what what I've witnessed is that you built up and you kept going. You kept thinking about what really not only worked for the client, but you've said this probably about 8 times. what also worked for you? You were like, I burn out easily. I learned that fast. I burn out easily. I can't take on a lot of clients because I coach, like, we're business partners. And so it's really important to know then, okay, do I burn out really fast? My one-on-one needs to be a certain amount. If your one-on-one needs to be like 5 people per month, how many strategy sessions do you need to do? But if it needs to be more because you're not charging enough per month, that's where you actually need to build your healthy business. How many strategy sessions per week do you need to have to convert? What are you doing if those people are not one-on-one people? They're not ready. And then as you build, are you doing a VIP day? So fun. Or maybe you're right off the bat, like many coaches I know, and they're like, I want to do a retreat. I know somebody, and maybe you want to do this model, and this is really helpful what JJ's saying.
Yeah. What you're talking about, it flashed me into when I wasn't booking, like, because I didn't have the confidence yet. And like, I hired a business coach and she was like, you need to charge this amount. And I was like, totally, I know my value. And then I would get on the discovery call and I'd be like, so it's this much, and it's totally too much, and it's okay if you can't afford it, and I talked them out of enrolling with me because I wasn't.
Or your higher ticket. I hate that word, high ticket. I just think for me, the reason I say 3 tiers work is, I match it when I'm talking to what I say to somebody, a core question that I always have is, how long have these issues been around? And if somebody's like, since I've been 17, I'm like, I'm going to tell you straight up. Like, I just learned to be like, I'm going to tell you, miracles cannot happen in a single session. And if anyone tells you gut gets better in 6 months, that's a marketing thing. So you're a different human. I don't know. And I would always say, feel free to steal this, guys, because I struggled for so many years. I'd be like, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you 4 sessions, 6. And if somebody's telling you that because I went to hell and back, they're lying to you too. So if you want to work with me, this is what I actually think would be great. But you're a big girl. I'm a big girl. If you say, this isn't good because I was in a 6-month something and I didn't want to be there after about 4 months. It wasn't that I didn't like the person. We just were done what we needed to do.
Yes.
So, always think about when you are talking to that person, be confident in your offers, whatever they are, because it's matching what they really need. Not matching your bank account, but think always about your bank account so you can leave either in the 9 to 5 or support yourself as a health coach or not feel the struggle. And that's what I wanted to show you with J-Day. Like, how many of you raise your hand? Because I'm always a little shocked when people are like, I'm not making money. I'm like, could you do a $35 workshop?
Okay, that's what I was going to say.
Can I get an amen if you think 5 people would show up? With 10, woo! Okay, you just made $350. And if you don't know people, can I get another amen? Could you go and say on Facebook, oh my God, I'm so super excited. My mom was addicted to sugar. Ask your mom if you can sell her out. Be like, my mom was addicted to sugar, or my sister is, and I helped them to get off. And my sister was like begging me, you got to do this, or whatever, your best friend. Make it about your life. Don't just be like, sign up for this gut workshop or this. Just be like, oh, this is what happened. I'm super pumped. Who is down? I guarantee you. You don't even have to put a link. They're like, personal message me if you want to get down. Plus, you're getting an extra gift.
Yes. Okay.
So you're going to say about
I just got so excited I choked on my spit. I was like, okay. When I wasn't booking private clients with that high price that I was not comfortable with, I was like, okay, those people aren't coming, but I still need to make money. So I started offering yoga and dessert workshops. And it was around the holidays. So I would cook I would bake 5 different desserts. And
you were all those little cookies. Yes, I remember that.
Oh my God. And I love baking, using real food ingredients and making it gluten-free and dairy-free. And that is so much fun to me. So doing this workshop was so fun. And it was like, I think I did early bird, $35, sign up with 2 people, and it's $50. And I think I had like 15 people sign up. I had it in my house, so there was no overhead. I wasn't splitting it with anyone or anything. And I mean, I don't even, it was probably $400 or $500 that I made, but I was like, whoa, that's awesome. I offered another one, same thing. 15 people showed up. So I was like, this is great. Like, you have to be creative and do something that works for you.
And to be different. You know, I think about that, like Bob was saying earlier in a question, like the same juice shop I went in, I said, hey, it's summer. It's really hot. Guys, I live in Florida. I used to live in Philly, but now I live in Florida. So yes, I do have coached in an Oregon state. And I went in and was like, would your people love vegan ice cream? 3 different ingredients. And she was like, serious? And I'm like, yeah. And if you want, like, I'll make some with essential oils and some without. And she was, oh my God, come. That place was packed, standing. I had 2 Vitamexes going, and people were like,
oh my God,
are you serious? And then I gave them a recipe for money. So if you guys think of, and you're like, nobody bought my detox or nobody bought my program, sell the recipe book.
Yes.
Do a cooking class. If you don't live in an area, then this is where you are going to have to be like, hey guys, you're going to have to maybe go a little, I call this low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
You're going to have to be different. Be like, you know what? I'm doing a chocolate workshop and we're going to talk about getting off sugar. Take like the sugar workshop, or take a workshop that's part of your program. Put in some recipes. I even have a freebie, guys, that I can even drop into one of our forums. That's how to be a healthy chocoholic.
I have that one, and I love it.
I love that one. Because I always think about, and I had another one called I'd Kill for a Cookie. I would always think, like, what are the biggest problems? Everyone's always like, I feel this. I don't want to give up my favorites. Teach people how you don't. And if you live in a really rural area, trust me, I've worked with coaches all over this world. Figure out how to show people how you don't have to give up the fried chicken. How you don't have to give up, but like show them the ingredients that make it healthy for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, just meet people where they need to be met. Somebody's asking, can you use workshops online? Can always.
Oh, yeah.
You could do Zoom for free, under 40 minutes, but I always say cut it like at 35. Secondly, you can also do your phone as a live stream and then download the live stream and even upload it as a replay.
Yeah.
But you can even sell them as masterclasses. I've worked with clients who have really high authority, but we're like, ooh, you just launched, or you just did or maybe your people who can afford this want this masterclass. And we sold them for $35, some for $35, and then ones that we packed with tons of information, $97. So you could even take a whole program, the value of that, it almost becomes a tripwire, do an entire presentation, sell that, it becomes a masterclass on your site that is always there.
And can't you do it on Teachable?
Well, if you guys wanted to build out and teach, so there are different platforms that you can also create courses per se. Yeah. That could be Teachable. I've even seen people who literally just on a Google Doc, as long as it's, not out in the world, just break it down like, week 1, week 2, week 3. But the whole idea is to be creative in your zone, to not get overwhelmed. And I think if the message of anything tonight was, don't get overwhelmed in the process. How many of you have seen that? Many of us have done it, where you don't download something, it sits on your desktop, it sits in your Dropbox, and then your business goes nowhere. Okay, so do you have anything else you want to say to everyone?
I just want to say to all the new coaches that you can allow fear to hold you back, or you can allow it to propel you forward. It is your choice always if you make things happen. So get from behind your computer and get outside, make connections, send as many emails as you possibly can to places nearby, and do more than you think. That has been my biggest. I am do, and it's never perfect, but it works out and it just leads you to the next place.
And test it. And I think, let me even just define, like, I think for many of us, we think doing means like constant. Doing just means that you're not seeing in the field. If you buy a workshop or you buy a program, edit it.
Yes.
Like, it doesn't take, and I mean, I can't tell you guys, I couldn't figure out the PayPal button. I watched all the other coaches that I graduated. They had beautiful websites. I didn't. They were putting PayPal buttons and all this I couldn't figure it out for the life. I cried over MailChimp. Finally, I just said, screw it. I'm going to sell this on Eventbrite. And I would be at a light with my old BlackBerry that looked like a computer. And I would be typing, like, not driving. I would be typing and be like, I will be home in 45 minutes and out with it. And I made it work. Nobody ever complained. And then I found eJunky, EJUNKIE.com, because I couldn't figure out the MailChimp to the PayPal. Many of you still can't. Many of you don't have the money, because where you see those huge launches for a lot of people, not any of the people I picked, because I wanted you to see people that don't use Facebook ads, people that aren't doing huge launch trends. Because those days, I think, are just making everyone confused and overwhelmed. Is that eJunky is a one download. You upload the zip, you put the little code right on your page, and you're done. And don't worry about the rest of it. Lead them right into a group. Love them up. They will love you back if you really love and value them as a human and not just a person on your list or a buyer. Which is why I still answer my email.
Perfect.
So, thanks, Jay, and I love you. I really appreciate the honesty, and I appreciate that even in this talk, like, you showed, just the journey, and that it's not always this perfect fit. You don't always have to have it figured out, and most often our best ideas just come really from tapping into our soul and saying, what would I have wanted? Or what are these women asking me? And you just always went with that.
I never have it figured out. Never.
But you always bring yourself. And I think that's the core thing that a lot of us lose when we come into this business.
Yeah.
Because we feel that comparison into that different stuff.
That'll keep you stuck if you're like seeing these perfectly, curated videos and photos. No, we all know that they're fake. So let's be real and be yourself, and everyone will love you, and that's it.
And let go of your own. And I love what you said about the mindset stuff. Like, I had to work on my own mindset. I was so undervaluing, charging, but I couldn't have been like, well, I'm going to just charge. I had to believe it. I had to feel it. I had to feel like I was giving value, even though I know it sounds crazy, guys. When I teach at Hippocrates, and I will just end with this, and I want you to really think about this. I always do this exercise where I'm like, okay, how much do you charge per hour? And somebody will be like, oh, no, one person will maybe say 60, or one person will be like, well, I'm thinking 97. One person will be like, I'm thinking 200. And somebody will say, oh, that's so much. And I say, okay, I want you to step back for a second. Does anyone question getting their nails done? Question getting their hair done? Question getting a massage? Question any of it? We go to a hotel and someone's like, that's the price. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
But we question working with a coach. We question, like, oh, that program is so much money. That retreat, so much money. That often is either our own mindset, most often it is. Mm-hmm. So what I talked about is getting into that abundance mindset, is you believing it. But I know for me, I did need to know what I was offering and why. So the more clear you get on your story, how that matches what you're offering, online, offline. What are you giving a person in the sessions? What are you giving them on a VIP day? What are you doing a shopping tour with? What are you pitching to a gym, corporate, the juice place, the moms group? Whoever is in your world of your avatar, what is she doing on a Friday night? What is she doing during the day? Or what is he doing on a Sunday? Like, think about them, be them, feel their pain in the ways that you've either witnessed somebody else experience or that you experience. And the deeper that you go into that, and not necessarily the funnel of, I need to do this, that will come to you intuitively when you're so crystal clear on listening, on that strategy session, on speaking a certain way when you show up in a post, humanizing everything you do, because that is the health and wellness business. If not, we really should go, no offense, Walmart. We should go work in the Walmart section, in the organic section, and just, shove fruit. That's it. But you're changing lives. Not that organic fruit in the Walmart, maybe it's not a step up, but you're changing lives, you're changing history. And in this world, guys, and I was talking to a bunch of people, things are a little messed up right now, emotionally, spiritually, physically. And the fact that my husband's grandma's on less medications than some 6-year-olds I know, and she's 96, and that's why we got a problem, right? Yeah. So with that being said, get inspired, get out of your own way, think about what serves you. And Jay, thank you. Go see the little guy, the big guy, the little guy.
I will.
And
thanks, Rach.
Thanks, guys. If you have any questions, let me know. Bye, honey.
Bye.
All right, guys, we're going to finish this up, but I just wanted to see if there's any additional questions that you have for me before we end this amazing night. Anything? Okay. Perfect. I will pop this in on the replay. And thank you guys. Again, if you have any questions, you can reach out to me at my happy home, which is rachelafeldman.com. Or if you have any questions about the Done For You programs, Done For You content, Done For You newsletters, any of that stuff, you can go to www.yourhealthcoachbiz.com. So again, if you email me, I'll be the one answering. If you need to jump on a strategy call to figure out the programs that match you, maybe you're confused, you don't know where to start, please send me an email through my site and I will definitely get in touch with you. Have a beautiful night. I will see you guys later. And thank you so much. Oh, thank you, Sarah. I'm so excited to meet you. Trust me. Stick with this crew. JJ is actually one of my moderators, as well as Sarah, who I know the sound was horrible, guys, on the replay, but they're really brilliant women, and it's one of the reasons that I try to find those just soulful, amazing coaches who have built their business from the ground up, just like I did. And I don't have a special switch. And you see, none of the coaches I talk to, there's no special switch. It's about really figuring out what you're meant to do, why you're meant to do it, how you're going to do it. So yeah, definitely, Sarah. Here, guys, I'm just going to put, again, right here, I'll type in the message, my site, which again is rachelafeldman.com. And if you need to have a session, by all means, I'm here for you. Totally here. So thank you, guys. It was a pleasure to be with you. Have a beautiful, beautiful night. And I will see you guys later. Bye, guys.